In tonight's news edition, His Majesty the King opens a liquefied natural gas terminal and the maritime services wharf in Aqaba, which will enhance the kingdom's energy supply. Malaysia confirms plane debris found in an Indian Ocean island is from a Boeing 777, heightening the possibility it could be wreckage from missing flight MH370. And Afghanistan's Taliban group chooses Supreme Leader Mullah Omar's deputy to replace him, and peace talks between the Taliban and the Afghan government are postponed. Good evening and very warm welcome to the news. His Majesty the King, accompanied by His Royal Highness Crown Prince Hussein, inaugurated the Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Sabah liquefied natural gas terminal and the maritime services wharf of the power ports in Aqaba. The new projects will contribute to the development of the national economy as they boost the kingdom's energy supply as well as trade and services at the Aqaba Special Economic Zone. The liquefied natural gas port aims to compensate for a shortfall in the kingdom's natural gas imports and diversify the sources of gas mainly used for electricity generation. The new venture will also make Aqaba Port a regional energy hub serving neighboring Arab countries. The maritime services wharf will provide a technical platform for receiving and unloading liquefied natural gas ships in the port city and also provide them with special maritime services of the highest international standards in the area of towing. The King toured facilities at the Sheikh Sabah liquefied natural gas port and was briefed about its tasks and safety procedures, which are applied in accordance with the best international standards. Also in Aqaba, His Majesty the King met with local leaders, elders and MPs to learn firsthand about their demands and needs of services. The King said the inauguration of the new liquefied gas port came as part of the Jordanian state's efforts to address the problems of poverty and unemployment in the southern Aqaba governorate and the country as a whole. Syria, Palestine and ties with Arab countries were also discussed during the meeting, where His Majesty said the situation in Syria is unclear and reiterated Jordan's support of a political solution in the neighboring country. On Palestine, the King said this is the first time during the last 60 years that we saw hundreds of thousands of Palestinians praying at Al-Aqsa Mosque thanks to Jordan's diplomacy. Commenting on a decentralization draft law, His Majesty said the bill is meant to promote public participation in decision-making as part of Jordan's reform drive. Prime Minister Abdullah Mansour said that Kuwaiti investment in Jordan is the largest among other countries. He also told Kuwaiti National Assembly Deputy Speaker Mubarak al-Khurainji that Jordanian-Kuwaiti ties are deep and exemplary, noting the close coordination between the two countries on various Arab, regional and global issues. Mansour said Kuwait is a role model in the Middle East in democracy and freedoms. Mansour thanked the Gulf Arab states' support of Jordan, noting Interior Minister Salam Hamad's meeting with Kuwait's Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Sabah to discuss a facilitating transit of trade between Jordan and Iraq. Prime Minister Abdullah Mansour said Jordan has no prisoners of opinion or exiles outside the country. He made the remarks during a meeting with Jordanian journalists working abroad who were at home to take part in the Jordanian Expatriates Conference, which ended yesterday. He said the government is keen to maintain communication with Jordanians abroad, stressing that expatriates are ambassadors who reflect the bright image of their country. The Prime Minister gave a briefing on Jordan's position toward the latest regional developments, noting that the kingdom was able to maintain its security and stability in a turbulent region. Commenting on the war on Daesh terrorist group, Mansour said Jordan has a constitutional right to defend its people and territory against any threats to its security. Border guards arrested a man as he attempted to cross into Syria from Jordan and referred him to the concerned authorities. A Jordan Armed Forces Arab Army spokesman reiterated that troops would not tolerate any violation of security along the kingdom's frontiers, stressing the security of Jordanians is a red line. He vowed that the armed forces will deal firmly with any attempt to breach the border and would use all possible means to stop infiltrations. Human Rights Watch said pro-Houthi forces in Yemen have repeatedly fired mortar rounds and rockets into residential areas of the southern port city of Aden. It said the indiscriminate firing might constitute a war crime. In the ongoing conflict, local officials said that Yemeni forces, backed by Saudi-led coalition airstrikes, have recaptured positions on the outskirts of Aden used by the Houthi group to fire rockets into the port city. They seized the town of Muthallath al-Ilm at Aden's eastern entrance. The fighters also recaptured neighborhoods to the north of Aden from the Houthis, including Jawala, al-Basatin and Qaryat al-Falahi. But the two sides were still fighting in Al-Huta, the capital of the southern province of Lahj, 30 kilometers from Aden, where clashes have persisted for several days. The Interior Ministry said Saudi airstrikes also targeted locations across the south, including Dala and Al-Anad base. Local officials also said 4 suspected members of the Al-Qaeda-affiliated Ansar al-Sharia militant group were killed in an overnight airstrikes by a drone in the southern province of Abyan. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said there is no hope for peace between Ankara and the Kurds as long as the militants keep attacking Turkish positions. He said it is not possible to continue the peace process with those who threaten Turkey's national unity. Erdogan spoke after Kurdish militants carried out a series of attacks against Turkish troops. Here's more.
Turkey's military is on high alert in the southeast province of Sirnak, following the attack on its forces by pro-Kurdish PKK militants. 3 soldiers were killed in the attack. Helicopters and the commando unit have been dispatched to the area to prevent further assaults. Turkey is now engaged with enemies on 2 fronts. Airstrikes that began last week against PKK camps and Islamic State targets in northern Iraq are continuing in what Ankara calls a synchronized fight against terror. But the PKK says the strikes are Turkey's attempt to crush their political movement and to cement authoritarian rule in Turkey. A Turkish peace process has been underway since 2012 to bring to an end a 3 decades-long insurgency that's left some 40,000 people dead. But with Islamic State now part of the regional security equation, that process appears more complex than ever.
Malaysia said it is almost certain that plane debris found on Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean is from a Boeing 777. The announcement heightened the possibility the wreckage could be from missing flight MH370. Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak said the object, which appeared to be a part of a wing, was being sent to offices of the French Crash Investigation Agency in Toulouse to verify if it was indeed the first trace of the lost plane to be found. The plane vanished in March last year en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing in one of the most baffling mysteries in aviation history. This report has more.
Australian Deputy Prime Minister Warren Truss said the discovery of what could be debris from missing Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 was significant, if yet unconfirmed.
Now, this is obviously a very significant development. It's the first real evidence that there is a possibility that a part of the aircraft may have been found. It's too early to make that judgment, but clearly we are treating this as a major lead and seeking to get assurance about what has been found and whether it is indeed linked to the disappearance of MH370.
The wreckage was discovered on Reunion Island, east of Madagascar, on Wednesday. Officials are examining the debris and say it's too early to draw conclusions. Families of some of the Chinese victims remain skeptical. Jiang Hui's mother was amongst the 239 people on board the flight. Even if we find out that this debris belongs to MH370, he said, there's no way to prove our people were with that plane. People in Malaysia say the discovery, while promising, won't make grieving the loss of loved ones any easier. MH370 disappeared in March last year after leaving the Malaysian capital Kuala Lumpur en route to Beijing in what's become one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history.
Afghanistan's Taliban group has chosen Supreme Leader Mullah Omar's deputy to replace him. Mullah Akhtar Muhammad Mansour was appointed leader at a meeting of the Taliban's top representatives, many of whom are based in the Pakistani city of Quetta. Meantime, Pakistan announced that scheduled peace talks between the Taliban and the Afghan government would be postponed. Pakistan cited a statement in Kabul about Mullah Omar's death as the reason for the delay in negotiations, amid fears that it could trigger a potentially bloody succession battle. Mansour will be only part of the second leader the Taliban have had since Omar, an elusive figure rarely seen in public who founded the insurgent movement back in the 1990s. The Taliban eventually conquered most of Afghanistan, imposing strict Islamic law before being driven from power in 2001 by a US-led military intervention. Earlier, the Afghan government said Omar died more than 2 years ago in the Pakistani city of Karachi. The announcement threw into disarray a fragile peace process fostered by neighboring Pakistan, aimed at ending more than 13 years of war between the hardline Taliban and the Afghan government in Kabul. Back here at home, a 4.3 magnitude earthquake with its epicenter in the Dead Sea region was recorded early this morning, but no casualties or damage were reported. The Jordan Seismological Observatory said the tremor, centered at a depth of 10 kilometers, occurred at 5:39 a.m., noting it was felt in the western regions as well as in central and southern Jordan. Seismic activity is normal in the Jordan Rift Valley area, which extends from northern Jordan down to the Dead Sea and is part of the Great Rift Valley that stretches from the Taurus Mountains of Turkey down to the Zambezi Valley in southern Africa. 2 earthquakes measuring 5.2 and 4.5 on the Richter scale were registered in southern Jordan in June and July this year.
Since the Dead Sea area is located in the Great Rift Valley and due to its position on the seismic fault, the tremor was moderate and natural. Seismic activity in Jordan does not rise to the serious level as that in Turkey, Japan, or the United States. We advise Jordanian citizens in these cases to keep calm and avoid panic and crowding, but the seismic activity in Jordan is moderate and not severe.
A drop in gold price has encouraged many Jordanians to buy more gold for weddings, especially in summertime, the peak time for many to tie the knot. Jewelers say people can now buy more for their money, and that's why they've seen a healthy appetite from customers. The price drop is down to demand for the precious metal sliding to its lowest in 6 years in the second quarter of this year, as buyers from top consumer China poured funds in its now troubled equities market. Currently, 24-carat gold is priced at 25 Jordanian dinars per gram. 21-carat gold is priced at 21.4 Jordanian dinars, and 18-carat gold is priced at 18 dinars. At the beginning of July, 24-carat gold was sold at 26.7 per gram, 21-carat gold at 23.7, and 18-carat gold at 20 dinars.
15 كان الطلب كتير هادئ من أول السنة.
Since the beginning of 2015, the demand was calm compared to 2014. Only 4 to 5 days ago, when the gold decreased between $50 and $60, there has been demand for 2 reasons. Demand for investment, and the second demand is for marriage, as there was no one getting married in Ramadan. But now, after Ramadan, there are weddings and gifts. Also, expats are here. So just in the past 4 or 5 days, there's been a demand for gold.
German striker Mario Gomez is in Turkey to sign a deal with the Beşiktaş club for a 1-year loan deal from Fiorentina with an option to make a permanent transfer. The 29-year-old, who has won 59 caps and scored 25 goals, last played for Germany in August 2013 against Paraguay. The forward looked to be stuck in the wilderness following his move from Bayern Munich in 2013, with persistent knee injuries hampering his debut season in Italy. But the fit again 29-year-old is showing signs of rediscovering the predatory touch that saw him finish the season with 41 goals in all competitions for Munich 3 years ago. Hundreds of ecstatic fans have welcomed former Ivory Coast and Chelsea striker Didier Drogba to Canada to play for Major League Soccer side Montreal Impact. The 37-year-old Ivorian was part of the Chelsea team that won the English Premier League title in May. Drogba left Chelsea after playing 381 games and winning 4 Premier League titles across 2 stints with the Stamford Bridge club. Finally, a look at the weather forecast. Fair conditions will prevail tonight in Amman and the rest of the hilly areas, and relatively hot across the Jordan Valley and the Gulf of Aqaba. Winds will be northwesterly light. Tomorrow, hot and dry weather is forecast across much of the country, with temperatures hovering around the mid-30s in the hilly areas and the low 40s across the eastern plains, the Jordan Valley and the port city of Aqaba. Next to the lows and highs for tonight and tomorrow. To close our top stories once again, His Majesty the King opens a liquefied natural gas terminal and the maritime services wharf in Aqaba, which will enhance the kingdom's energy supply. Malaysia confirms plane debris found in an Indian Ocean island is from a Boeing 777, heightening the possibility it could be wreckage from missing flight MH370. And Afghanistan's Taliban group chooses Supreme Leader Mullah Omar's deputy to replace him, and peace talks between the Taliban and the Afghan government are postponed. With this, we come to the end of this edition of the news. My name is Raad Luptoush. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good night.